with us. Welcome into Undisputed. I'm Jen Hale here with Skip Bayless and Shannon Sharpe. Good morning, gentlemen.
Good morning, good morning.
So, ahead of our Gronk topic,
Yep.
I was scanning a lot of lists on the internet last night of all-time greatest tight ends, and I came across a list by the legendary Cowboy draftmaster Gil Brandt that ranked Shannon Sharpe 12th all-time, and I said, 12th? No wonder you hate the Dallas Cowboys.
I don't
right?
hate the Dallas Cowboys, Skip. You
Yes,
know,
you
these rankings, hey.
12th?
I did what I did.
Yep.
I want to see the 11 tight ends that accomplish more than what I accomplished.
That's a good question.
That's all I want to see.
I like that. I'm
We're
on
about
your
to
side.
we're about to discuss one of them
Yes,
right
we
now.
are.
Number one in our hearts here at Undisputed. That's for sure,
Well.
Shannon. Don't you ever worry about that. All right. What you guys are talking about for the second time in his career, actually, four-time Super Bowl champion Rob Gronkowski announced his retirement on social media yesterday. His agent, Drew Rosenhaus, did tell Adam Schefter that, in his opinion, Gronk might be able to be convinced to come back mid-season by his BFF Tom Brady. Shannon, here we go again. Do you think this time Gronk is retired for good?
I do, Skip. I just think, as you know, look, I know Gronk loves the game of football. I know he loves being around his teammates, but there's so much more that goes into it. Because I don't know if he has the desire to train like Tom Brady. Like, Tom loves the studying. Tom loves to going out there in the backyard and throwing and going through the process of getting ready to play the game of football. I don't know if Gronk necessarily loves that aspect.
Remember what he said on the Manning cast last year? He doesn't study at all. He just waits for Tom to tell him in practice, you need to do this week.
Exactly. Right? I think he's a little bit more into it than that, Skip. But as you get older, it gets harder and harder for you to train at the intensity and summons up the energy and the effort to go out there and do the things necessary for you to be great. And Gronk has been at a level, it's hard for him to come out in there just willy-nilly dally around. That's not who he is. That's not what he is. I know we think of Gronk as a big, fun-loving guy, the college co-ed kid that just wants to drink beer, but he's highly intelligent, football intelligence. Yep. He understands what he needs to do, where he needs to be, and how soon he needs to get there. Yep. He has a tremendous wavelength with Tom Brady. They've been together for, 11, 12 years. So that's the only quarterback that he's known. I never saw him playing with someone else other than Tom because of the relationship that he has with Tom. Yep. But, Skip, like I said, and Drew saying that, well, he'll come back. Well, hell, if he's not going to train in the offseason to get ready for the season, what makes you think that he's probably going to have a job here at Fox, talking about football, Skip, that he's going to do the things necessary to go in the middle of the season? Very few people, and they say, well, you have to stay ready. You never know when you're going to get that call. Yep. True. But it's just hard for me to see Gronk coming back in the middle of the season. I really think this is over for him. And when you look at it, what does he have to prove? There's nothing Gronk can do, and that's one of the reasons I also walked away, Skip. I said, well, look, there's nothing else I can do that's going to change someone's perception of me. Some people say, well, he was good. Some people say he was a product of the system. Some people going to say he just had a big mouth. When you look at Gronk's accolades, the 4 Super Bowls, the first team All-Pro, the Pro Bowls, most postseason touchdowns, the second most postseason touchdowns receiving behind Jerry Rice, most 100-yard game, most single touchdowns in the season, all-decades player, 100th anniversary team player. What could Gronk come back and accomplish that would make you change your perception of him? You have this perception of Gronk on the field. You know he's historically great. You have this perception of Gronk off the field, a big, fun-loving, college old guy. That's what he is. That's what you perceive him. So him coming back is not going to change things. Skip, I don't think he's coming back. He's had a hell of a career. I just wish, and I've said this, and I told him this, I wish you could have stayed 100% healthy for a decade like Tony, or stayed healthy like Gates, and saw what kind of numbers this man could have put up, Skip. Because the numbers that he put up, I don't know. I mean, there's some guys coming up out. Kelsey, I think Kelsey has the best chance out to challenge Gronk for supremacy. But, man, he's so far behind in touchdowns. But this man has had an unbelievable career. He's special. He's special. I don't have any problem. We're going to talk about him a little later. But he's my
go for the record, before we delve into it, you still think he is the best?
Yeah. I don't know.
Number one.
Yeah. who's in the discussion.
Well, if O'Shea Sharp is in there.
No, Skip. I'm good. I'm good. I got what I got, but I couldn't score. I couldn't score the ball like this kid could. Yeah, I could rack up yardage, but he came along in the first time. They had really shifted to the throwing game. They threw the ball a lot more than they run it, and he had Tom. I had Elway. I wish I could have had Elway for all 14 years. I got him for 10 of those years, but Gronk is it for me when it comes to historically great tight ends. He's number one for me.
Okay, so you asked the $1 billion question. Why would he come back at all? Well, there's only one reason.
Tom.
It's just fun. It's just that's the only reason.
Oh.
It is fun to play. You are the all-time favorite receiver of the GOAT. Mm-hmm. Well, that's pretty cool.
Right.
That's pretty special. That's
right.
about as special as it gets
right.
in your business,
yes.
right?
Yes.
But to your point, he's already I'm pretty sure, first ballot slam dunk.
Oh,
right?
yeah, there's no question about that.
So he is in the Hall of Fame, and yet we saw Tommy and Gronky do these silly little videos with a fake palm tree sitting outside the stadium.
With the feet in a little kiddie pool.
Yeah, and it's just silliness. And they're kind of two silly kids at heart, because Tom's got a lot of kid in him, little kid in him. And if that still can be there for those two, well, then Gronk might say, I don't want to go to camp. I don't really want to play in September. It's too hot in September down in Tampa because it's sweaty hot. As you know, it's humid hot.
Yeah.
Maybe in October, maybe November 1st, when the weather turns a little bit cooler, maybe I say, okay, if Tommy calls me and says, big boy, I need you. Come on down here. We're pretty good. We could be very good with you.
Right.
Then I could see it happening. I am still curious about the Drew Rosenhaus quotes, which just jumped out at me. It would not surprise me if Tom Brady calls during the season to come back and Rob answers the call. Well, he is Rob's agent, so what's up with that? Is it just Drew, who's got a lot of showman in him also? He's a media grandstander. Is he just trying to speak that into existence because he'd like another fee or two from Rob Gronkowski?
Exactly.
Maybe. Is he speaking for Rob? Rob's got a lot of showmanship in him, and I think he taught Tom a lot of social media showmanship.
Right.
Because Gronk was way ahead of that curve, right?
Yes.
So are they just grandstanding? That they like to tease us, they like to set us up, they like to drop big hints? Is it possible that through Drew, they're just dropping another big hint right on top of your head so that you'll be ready on November 1st when he comes back?
But I think Tampa kind of prepared. They did take two tight ends in the draft.
They took them in the fourth and sixth round. And by the way, we're going to talk about this a little later. That fourth rounder, I like him a lot.
Yeah.
That Otten kid. But go ahead.
Yeah,
but they were looking to the future like they thought the future is now.
Because if you think about it, Skip, it started to get like, I don't know, and it started getting later and later when he was going to return. And at some point in time, you're like, you know what? Man, I kind of like air conditioning. I kind of like not having to go and lift those heavy-ass weights and get ready and to be banging against, a Myles Garrett and to have to bump into people for a living anymore. When I can, I'm good. I think I'm good right now.
Okay, but how many shoe commercials can you do and be happy? How many WWE appearances can you make and be happy? Can you do that full-time and be happy? How much will you miss just being around Brady?
Yeah.
How much will you miss game days? You still miss game days, right?
Well, I think Skip, but here's the thing. The thing that really, I love training. I still do.
Yeah, you're the flip side of this. I don't think he loves.
I don't think he loves the training, and that's the part, Skip. If you're you're a quarterback and you're going to be protected, but Gronk has to lift those weights. Gronk can't do a TB12 method where he's doing bands and all that stretching. Gronk has to get up on the weights. Gronk has to do leg pressing. Gronk has to do bench. Gronk has to condition his body to withstand that punishment. They offer no really protection for Gronk, and they still hit Gronk the same way. How do you get him down, Skip? I got to hit him in his knees. I got to hit him below the waist because that's the only way I can get him down. He's a ginormous man. And so he's going to take punishment that, say, a quarterback necessarily wouldn't take. Yeah, of course, quarterbacks get hit. Yeah, sometimes they get blindsided. But Tom Brady mastered that. He got a spidey sense that he know they're coming. He's going to duck down. He's not going to take that full blow. Well, Gronk's going across the middle, Skip, and Brady misses him just slightly. That's a big shot.
Okay.
And so for you to not just say, you know what, I'm not going to do anything September, October, and then here I am, I'm going to turn it up in November. You're asking an awful lot for a professional athlete to do that.
As you age, and he is 33,
Yeah.
Tom is 45, they play very different. It's almost like they play a different sport.
Yeah, yeah.
Right?